Today is a Government Wednesday, which means that after the general debate we're going to government business. We're going to start the day with a ruling around ministerial responsibility as it applies to the House. There have been some questions raised, and a couple of weeks ago I agreed to come back with a considered ruling, and I will do that today. We'll then go on to questions. Duncan Webb to the Minister of Finance on the New Zealand economy and reports he's seen. Simon Bridges, standard question, does he stand by all of his government's policies and actions, to the Prime Minister. Amy Adams on Kiwi Build. Joe Luxton to education about classrooms. Louise Upston has got one to the Minister of Social Development. It's an area that I didn't know anything about, and what recent decisions and actions has the government taken about high tariff offenders. So it could be interesting. Jamie Lee Rost continues his quest with regard to the Minister of Health and the county's Manukau DHB about whether things were handled appropriately with an inquiry that's occurring into that DHB. Paul Eagle on predatory lending practices. Paul Goldsmith asking David Parker whether it is his view that business confidence surveys are junk. Gareth Hughes on animal cruelty. Amy Adams back to David Parker again on the Te Arai property exemption and whether or not he handled it appropriately. And the final question is Chris Bishop to the Minister of Police around his awareness of issues at the time the current Deputy Commissioner was appointed. We then go on to the general debate. When that's finished, we go on to the committee stages of the Exclusive Economic Zone and Continental Shelf Bill. We then go on to the committee stages of the Social Security Legislation Rewrite Bill, which is a very big bit of legislation started by the previous government, but with considerable changes made by the current minister. Being controversial to date, but I understand we're more or less through the bits around which there is large disagreement. We then go on to the Military Justice Legislation Amendment Bill committee stages, and then possibly the second reading of the Court Matters Bill and Tribunals Powers and Procedures Legislation Bill. So that's a bit of a package which actually relates back also to the Military Justice Legislation Amendment Bill. So not sure we'll get through it all today, but likely to make progress in the details of several pieces of legislation.